first pick has won every single game.
And
I do think a factor is we're just not really seeing enough value gained from some of these counter picks. The Kled, particularly in top lane, the Kled, the Ornn, and the Yorick, I feel like just didn't get as much value as maybe hoped.
yeah.
I think Ornn did okay, to be honest. I think Ornn still did fine, but I think the other two just struggled to really make the impact you'd want when you're getting counter pick.
Well, this is really interesting because the bros, I think, were listening to what our space was talking about, as the Yone is going to be taken away. Cassio going to remain on the ban list here, as the Caitlyn is also removed from Teddy. Caitlyn, I feel, is getting a little bit more difficult to play, given the fact that you've lost the Bard already. There are a few things that you're not able to play alongside it. I guess there is still the Karma and the Lux.
Tried and true.
That's a good point. But there is no Caitlyn anymore, so don't even need to really worry about it. One final ban here for the bros, and they get rid of the Karma that I was talking about. All right, so I think Teddy wants to play Corki. That's what I'm feeling in my bones, as the Orianna does inevitably get taken away. So Pantheon, I think, is a huge one for Gideon to get his hands on. Stands out quite a lot here in this draft as far as the bans are concerned, and they are going to lock that one in.
But also, Lee Sin is available. Was banned previously pretty heavily.
And Cuz has been having some good games on the Lee Sin in solo queue recently, as well as just in general. But the Ashe Seraphine looks to be the argument here.
I think the value of this duo really shoots up this late in a series when a lot of the matchups that can be a bit awkward, a bit difficult, have been thinned away.
And no Jarvan available either.
Yeah, that being said, into a Pantheon, a little scary if they can put pressure down on you early. You could honestly just go for like Teddy's Corki plus an engage pick and just play to kill them in the bot lane as much as possible.
We'll see what Teddy wants to do. You can see very vocal right now, deciding what they want to play. He could also play something really, really difficult, like, oh, that's a lock, so they're not going to lock in the bottom lane just yet. Camille, a choice as well, definitely going to be flexing between casting and Namgung.
The early Camille here, because you potentially set up for that super dangerous bot lane, but also it could just be that Camille top, that we saw the changes try and push it into that lane. Camille has always scaled well, but it scales even better than it did previously now.
And the Lock Camille combo is how the bros managed to win that incredible series and get #1 in the Mad Movie, as there's the Lee Sin from Cuz to be locked in.
I mean, I just feel like I'm sensing danger for the bot lane, but also playing Lee Sin into Camille Pantheon lock, they can just jump you, and Lee Sin can so often shirk off these difficult pick attempts, but into a Camille, you don't really have that option so freely. And now, I think you will just ban 80 carries for KT, given that the Camille is a flex and hard to really read. I think taking the Corki that you talked about, taking that away, could be a high priority. I feel like they maybe even look to ban away the Jhin, which you would enjoy. They're starting off with the Mel, though. Right. Mel, paired with Engage, something we saw quite popular, into Ashe Seraphine.
Might be the Mel Ziggs to be taken away, just because the Camille does pair very well with the mages on the bottom side, allowing you to roam around.
A Galio ban makes sense. We often see that specifically into Lock to match up into it, so I think taking that away is pretty high value.
I actually was surprised that KT didn't lock the Galio on 3, just with how strong it is with an Ashe Seraphine as well. And you can get that into the matchup against the Lock as well, but not going to happen as the Lee Sin was too high priority. One final ban here is there is the Ziggs.
Do they ban Lissandra here? We've seen Lissandra be successful in the Lock before. It syncs up well with the Lee Sin. Maybe that's something BDD leans before. We know he's played it before, especially in high-pressure matches. There could also be, I guess, something like an Akali, but doesn't really fit the comp as well.
Yeah. Doesn't really fit with the Lee Sin either. Not a lot of setup.
Yeah.
As the Vayne will be taken away. Vayne has been okay into the Camille in the past.
I think you want to give as much time as possible to Perfect to figure out where the matchup is. So if you can pick mid here, that would feel pretty great.
Yep.
Is it definitely... It should be locked mid. But we have had locked bot lane before, so...
Ooh, that'd be kind of fun. Maybe that's just what they're going to play. Lissandra is going to be picked up. Feels like the poor man's Galio.
Yeah.
There in the mid lane.
Kind of a replacement for Annie and like the Lee Sin Annie combos that we've seen, so serves well as a replacement. We've seen it do well into Lock and just kind of keep him in check.
Oh man, imagine this. Teddy just giving us 5 games.
I think there's
Hovering
a lot
it
of
now.
dive in the team and just being able to pop that ult from a distance. It is the Jhin fantasy. I know it's a fantasy you want to try and ignore.
That sounds like a nightmare to me. But that is a Gnar. That'll put the Aura and Alawi. Now I'm going as hovering some stuff. That's a bit of fun. Wait, what are we blinding? So casting needs to decide what he wants to play in the top lane.
Could you just pick Ambessa here?
I'm going. Where are you going? Okay. Looks like it'll just be the Gnar.
Okay, picking the Gnar blind. Something we've seen a fair few times. The question is, what is Perfect going to take into it?
Obviously, Teemo, I think, is going to be the answer.
We've seen
here.
Perfect pick a range of things, like even the Tristana top. But it looks like he might just lean towards the Jax. This is a matchup we've kind of talked about extensively, how the Jax can find favor in this matchup, but you have to consistently play around stacking Grasp off the wave and then jump in and burst. That looks like Perfect's not in the mood for that, so he's just going to go for the Ambessa instead.
All right. A lot of setup CC for the public execution as well. I actually really like it for that. We were talking before about how the Akali doesn't necessarily work in the KT comp. The Lissandra definitely does for setting up Cuz in the early game, but then in the later game team fights, finding angles for this Ambessa to go in, for that Encore to be layered on top. The pick CC here from KT in this draft is out of control. And Hanjin Brion, a little bit more of a weird one here with wanting to get like big combos of massive explosive damage and then for Locke to just kind of murder everyone when they hit that execution threshold. I think this poltergeist that Valdez liked to call it is going to be very, very powerful.
I think there's so many ways for them to engage. So many ways for them to dive in, but a lot of setup CC on the other side that can be a little bit tricky to deal with, so...
Is this someone's dad? I'm wondering whether that's someone's dad, but I don't know.
This feels like a very fast-paced sort of game where if either team gets ahead, they're just going to bowl the other over. There's so many ways to pick and start fights from both sides.
Yeah, and we know that it's KT that are going to win this game to guarantee the silver scrapes, to make sure that this is the best play-ins that we've ever had. Let's get into the Rift for Game 4. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the 4th game of this series, but not the last. Right, guys? Right, bro? Right, everyone? It's got to be KT fighting back to give us the maximum amount of games. The bros right now hold match point, the palm of their hands, but they do not hold that ward. That ward is going to be taken down by Cuz and V2D. And I don't know whether the Lissandra necessarily does all that much work to slow down the Lock, as we can see there. The Electrocute working out quite nicely here as he hits all those nails.
I think you can't really be pressured that much by the Lock, and you can kind of just harass him once you get some points on your queue. You can wave clear quite easily. You have a lot of safety. The skirmishing's good, which a lot of mages struggle to have into Lock, is that they can match him in skirmishes. So I think it's okay. The main concern is Lissandra, if she falls behind, can feel a bit lackluster. So.
Yeah. Not a massive amount of damage.
No. It does have that reset potential, though. And the Thralls, one of the changes they did most recently to Lissandra is they included, like, the intelligence of the Thralls. They made it so, like, they won't just stop following you if you walk into a brush.
Well, that's good.
And they don't stand still just when they get in range of you. They would do this thing where they like get in range of you.
I remember that, yeah,
and just stand still and then explode. Now they don't do that anymore, so...
You really needed to make sure that you had some excess CC to lock people up after their teammates had died.
Which, to be fair, KT do have this game.
Yeah, that's what I'm
necessary.
thinking. This feels like an old-school Lissandra-type draft where you can just kind of get CC for days. Not to mention the fact that Ashe was always pretty good alongside Lissandra for maximizing Thrall damage with the fact that you can slow them down perpetually.
Oh, I thought you were going to say for lore reasons.
And lore reasons as well,
yeah,
which is also very, very important. We haven't actually done the Ashe or Lissandra lore on the broadcast yet, have we? We really got stuck on Nautilus for a long time. Then we did Mordekaiser for a while.
There was just so much depth.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Nautilus
content.
lore.
We needed
just
to...
so much deep.
Yeah,
right?
It was quite deep, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Once he was dropped to the ocean in Bilgewater. To the bottom of the ocean, one could say. And it should not have used all of those, the money that was all cursed and all that sort of stuff. I can barely remember. We need to do another episode so I can get a refresher.
Clearly did not watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Case of the Black Pearl, because that told me everything I need to know about cursed money.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably figure it out. I mean, that was the original. That was the original and the best, you know?
Yep.
At the height of Pirates of the Caribbean. That's all right. Casting and Perfect just fighting against one another here towards this top side. Right now, the only lane that the Bros have an advantage in. But as I say that, it is taken away.
Gideon challenging again,
this.
and I feel like he's been doing a lot of this in this series. There hasn't been a ton of ganking from either jungler, but Gideon has been trying to make issues for...
Oh, the flash in from Namgung. Of course he's going to go for that play. The beat drops, but Gideon is able to get himself out of the way, able to outrange the Q from BDD as well. Very luckily, finds himself a snipe, but that is going to be a bunch of buttons pressed. Namgung and Gideon without their flashes now.
That was chaotic. That was very aggressive. Bro were ready just to jump cuz, but BDD playing the Sandra can easily get over the wall, and it became a little bit of a precarious one. Bro's comp very good at going in, less good at going out.
Ashen Pursuit gets Roma over that wall because going to make it back to his inner turret. And that is Namgung going back home there as well. Gideon moving down towards this bottom side of the map, trying to protect Teddy. As the beat drop connects, he has to use the cleanse to get out of the way of Geo and Effort.
A lot of pressure now in the bot lane 2v2.
The Jhin is struggling somewhat, as Deadly Flourish going to deny some minions here, or attempt to at least. That one caster has not quite taken that extra damage just yet. Namgung moves in.
It does just spot Gideon?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think it did. He didn't get pinged, so I think it just flew past him. They'll know what camps are up, though, and that's enough information in and of itself. But you can see kind of the setup from Namgung there, getting the control ward in the tri-brush to threaten with that pocket of vision, maybe move Gideon in. In the end, though, I think Gideon just needs to play for 6, and then you go bot. And it's really straightforward and easy.
Yep. And just kind of drop on top of them. See whether you can lock up some kills. If they can get some cooldowns before that, then all the better.
I think at this point, Geo and Effort need to really consider how they're playing the lane, because as fun as it is to permanently push, hit the enemy tower, that will end up being costly if they keep doing that.
Well, see whether that game plan is going to change. Gideon half a level until that man drop becomes available. Teddy and Namgung back in this lane together once again. Effort is almost here towards this bottom side.
Effort is picking up this Scuttle respawn, so Gideon not going to have access to that for the immediate level 6, and now he's instead actually going for the enemy Raptors. So Cuz gets the Scuttle, but it won't actually get him to level 6 yet. But Gideon will get 6 off these Raptors they're looking to set up for. You can see Cuz immediately moving over to contest.
Yep, they are pinging it out. There's now Roma spots Cuz moving in, and Gideon does hit that level 6. Got the Ashen Pursuit though, and there's the Frozen Tomb. Level 6 available here, as we do have the ultimate thrown down by Roma, but the Q misses from Cuz. And that will allow Roma to escape.
That's one thing. You are pretty bulky as the lock, and the fact you can reactivate the Grey Health while you're CC'd makes it a lot harder for the Lissandra to actually kill you.
Yeah.
Even with the help of the Lee Sin, but the dodge and the Sonic Wave is pretty good. The slow as well from the ultimate, helping Roma get out. Now, they will take the Dragon as their consolation prize. But Gideon has hit level 6 now, and I think this is really going to shape how Geo and Effort have to play the game. There is Cleanse on Geo at least, which helps a bit in terms of dealing with the pressure from the Pantheon.
But there is so much CC to layer. Obviously, the tenacity from the cleanse is going to be very valuable after you use it the first time.
There's also, like, you know, Namgoon's hookshot doesn't really stun you for long, but, like, the impact of it, like, that's the main thing. It's like cleanse isn't really going to drastically help against a hookshot.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think
you around a little.
Yeah, there's still a lot of threat in place. Right now, though, we see Effort moving to the top side of the map. Grubs are coming up soon. This feels a little bit dangerous, but it really depends how it starts.
Yeah.
BDD, if you can ult the right target and then just delete them, you start getting the thralls out. They represent a lot of damage, especially in one of these early fights where there just isn't that much damage.
And honestly, I think KT's composition, that is one thing they're kind of lacking, right? They have a lot of utility, they have a lot of CC, but the damage isn't necessarily there in droves. They have a fair bit consistently of what little damage they have, as the arrow is going to be thrown at Teddy. He just barely gets his cleanse back off cooldown, as Geo is just going to chase him down. Teddy realizes that Gio is not going to be catching him underneath this turret, and Dancing Grenade just clears out the wave and he goes home.
So often it's the Jhin who has the edge in these 1v1 matchups because you can trade a bit and then back off with an ult the opponent, but Gio is the one who puts down the pressure and forces Teddy to back here. Cleanse down as well means could be a little bit vulnerable later. Now, Gideon, he's locked in on his grubs.
Oh, yeah. It's going to move in, though. Scry's Bloom is going to spot out exactly where Gideon is, but the Control Ward does give away the information as to Cuz and Effort's location.
I feel like they want to get Perfect in here as well. If they can layer the CC from BDD with the Ambessa ult, it could be really devastating.
Well, now, remember Namgung thinking about going for an angle here. Only level 4 on the Camille, casting not quite with his Nabar in the position that they want it, so it should be 2 grubs.
Oh, Effort!
Over to KT, as Effort is going to face check. Man, that was a lot of damage from the Q out of Gideon, but the beat drop does come down. Slows up this Pantheon as KT. They can control this battlefield so well. Cuz hasn't quite hit a Q yet.
Oh, they're splitting up, though. Do they look now?
Ooh,
Don't find a window.
casting.
KT can just back off.
Yeah,
A little scary there.
Careful.
I think Bro were very respectful of the potential to get the Sandra ulted in one shot. I think Namgun in particular, as a player who, no fear of dying, respected dying there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not the Namgung I know.
he's waiting for a better opportunity to die.
No Time to Die. Or it's one of the other James Bond movies, I'm sure.
Die another day.
Yeah, that's the one. Wow, why did I go with the one that no one really watched because it wasn't a very good one? Die Another Day was that good? I don't quite remember. I feel like that was in the era of they were a bit samey. I think was that Pierce Brosnan?
I remember. Yes, it was.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It was the one with the giant. Wasn't it the one with the giant space laser? And he's like,
that's Austin Powers, isn't it?
no. Would you believe? And he's surfing on like the. It's like the. Is it the hood of the car, or like the boot of the car, and he's surfing because the lasers melt in the ice?
Oh yeah, that's the one. It's all in like the Arctic or something the entire time.
Yes.
Yeah.
A land that is icy, but
Yeah.
not Iceland. Maybe
Yeah.
it was ice. No, it wasn't Iceland.
Could have been. Was it Antarctica? I don't know. It's one of the ends of the world that have the cold bits, I'm sure.
It was a bit more of a. I feel like the modern ones would be more serious, and that one was a bit like, you had like the invisible car and the laser chair and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. It was very hard for them to do better than GoldenEye. It was just so good.
Okay, Eclipse Spike for Cuz. Saw this item get buffed. And actually, Perfect and Cuz going to have that one item Eclipse Spike, which is a lot of power represented. So fighting around those could be big, especially when they're already at this gold deficit. It's a minute away from Dragon. It was Chemtech into Cloud.
Oh, this is a big combo. Perfect takes a lot of his health bar. Casting not going to stick around. Oh, Roma just barely skirting the vision, and now Perfect gets the bad news.
No wave there, though. Oh, this arrow, this arrow.
Oh, the arrow can... Oh! Okay, that was the other team. Never mind.
Yeah, I thought it was
freaking out.
It was going to hit Roman when he went for the dive, but instead it just... Unfortunately, it's not like Senna where it helps out.
Oh, no. Well, there it is. And, yeah, pop goes the Ambessa. Nothing you can do about that one.
Yeah, that was honestly just looked like such an easy dive. They had to be patient. And there is a cost to that. On the other side of the map, KT aggressing here and getting some damage down on this tower. 2 grubs in favor of them, and Ash just shredding. Casting had already done a lot of the legwork on this tower, though.
Yeah, and I know that we like to call the Lock Ultimate Poltergeist, but Purgatory really fit for where Perfect was positioned in that top lane. Nowhere to go, just no chance.
At least it ended.
Yeah.
No, at least he found his way out of Purgatory.
That's true. Via the Death Chamber, but there is only 1 plate remaining there on that top side. And the minion wave is just going to get eaten by the turret. KT at least going to make it to Double Dragon with Chemtech and Cloud taken away. There's a chance that this could be like a Hextech, something pretty dangerous. We'll see what it is going to be, and it's Infernal Soul again. 3 out of 4 Infernal Souls so far today.
Crazy. And I feel like when you talked before about this KT composition needing a bit of extra oomph,
yeah, that'll do it.
so adding the extra burst to like BDD's engage, it can make a big difference. Oh, Jiwoo.
Oh dear. He will have to stop his back. Doesn't die. And the Frost Shot actually working out here. No one to follow up, so he is just going to back away.
They've been scary. Ignite, Hextech Ultimatum, and the Jhin ult to follow up could have just been enough to catch Jiwoo off guard, so able to disengage from the situation.
Man, I feel like the bros have gotten too much bro tax now. The tempo vibes are just like all over the bros.
Yeah.
KT really haven't been able to turn things around, and they're going to need to.
When you look at the state of the game, Casting has a massive lead. And honestly, we talked so much about this matchup, how Casting was behind Perfect for KT last year, and we saw them switched out, but they stuck with Perfect. Casting has been having a big advantage in this matchup this series. You know, Perfect had such a strong start to the regular season, the LCK, back in round 1 and 2. And right now, it's just kind of being angled a little bit by Casting.
And Casting is going to continue that trend as well. He's close to 40 CS up, but this is also experience that Perfect is missing out on. He's at least going to be able to get that melee minion, but there is first turret going over to the Gnar. He almost has a 2,000 gold lead. And that's devastating here because he is going to be dominating side lanes.
I feel like Fed Gnar is so annoying. Oh, we might get a fight here.
Potentially.
Because
is
you
a
can
target.
kind of just, as a Fed Gnar, just run down the enemy AD carry and auto-attack them, and they lose because it's tanky.
Yeah.
Frustrating. Now, if we get a recall coming in from Casting, he might look to buy here and be ready to TP in.
He'll have Trinity Force as well.
Not really actually fighting for an objective right now, but if they're contesting this heavily, you could find an angle. He's actually just walking over, has a TP to go back if he needs, and this is where KT need to be careful. They aggress right now. When Gnar is here already, they could lose out far more than they want. It's a fight over the Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, I'm
Some
not sure
view this more importantly than Dragons.
why are we investing this much? Well, BDD is going to try and Claw of Doom his way out. There's that Purgatory we were talking about as Namgun gets the Hextech ultimatum before he dies. But look at this damage from KT. They just dominate them. Still, Gideon going to try and get some work done, but BDD holds him in place and takes him out. I'm still not sure what the bros were fighting for, but KT won.
Yeah, I have some questions about how and what they did in that fight. I think there's a lot of targets on KT that you could have gone for. They opted to go for the Lissandra here. You know, BDD clawed, and then they jumped on him. This massive encore connected.
Man, effort.
BDD self-ulted, and then Cuz just kicked them through. It was like the straight line of the encore into the straight line of the kick. Lissandra is last on the list. You know, if you want to make a list of targets, last. Dead last. In fact, there's a sizable gap between 4th and 5th in terms of which target you want to go for.
I don't know. I think Ambessa is also a rough one to go for just because she can immune a bunch of stuff or at least be untargetable for a bunch of stuff. So just hit anyone else.
Yeah.
All the other three, great choice.
It's a fact that BDD flashed, and they were like, you know what? Let's still go for the Lissandra. Like, they could have gone for Lee Sin, they could have gone for maybe the Seraphine.
Yeah.
And it did counteract them because this composition is quite momentum-based. We've seen with the lock before. And
I feel like it's only worse as well because KT winning that fight around the Dragon Pit, that's what they need to do in a minute's time. It's a great warm-up for exactly the play that they want to make.
And you look at the summoners expended. Everyone on Bro, apart from Teddy, being their flashes. It was only BDD's flash that had to get used there by KT. So they go in with a massive summoner economy advantage here. And if you try and go for that same jump again on someone who isn't BDD, they're going to have flash. So please don't take that as a sign you should go for BDD. We've established it's not a good idea.
Hey, unless they get the Frozen Tomb and the Claw out of him, you know, then you could probably do it. Maybe?
I mean, yeah, but
maybe just don't.
Why would he use both of those unless you're diving onto him?
That is a very good point. What if you're faking it? You know,
maybe that needs to be
think that you did it. All right, Cuz hits a Q. That was cool.
Bluff it, going for the bot lane and switch to him. But I think it'd probably just be easier just to kill Effort and G-Will.
That would be. You might do that by accident if that is your game plan anyway.
Okay, I think they're just going to secure the scuttle here and then move down towards Dragon. And then they want to go for Herald Jet when Dragon's in 10 seconds would be third for them. Massive. BDD picks up this top wave and then should make his way down. Roma has TP ready to go in. In terms of item spikes, the 2 Eclipses from KT, pretty major at this point of the game. We do have Teddy and Jiwoo close their second items, not quite there. But now the Dragon's being rushed here by Bro. Can Cuz get there in time?
Yeah, Cuz not going to be able to stop this.
I think they've kind of missed a trick there. This was a fight that was so favored towards KT. You had more summoners. You were not really ahead in gold, but if you found the right setup in terms of engage in a great spot, and they kind of just gave it over for free.
Yeah, it wasn't really what you wanted, as Teddy is going to get tagged by a Q here. Deadly Flourish hits onto Effort.
Yeah, the Eclipse spikes as well. I think a lot was favored there, and they kind of just missed the mark. Now the arrow might hit the lock.
Oh, he tried to dash his way out of there, as now BDD is looking to chase down Roma. Ashen Pursuit might be able to get him out as the Claw is going to get followed. BDD just trying to hold him in position because the Cavalry are on their way. And some serious alcove gaming is going to be necessary here. But the Frozen Tomb, I mean, the kitchen sink hits the lock and he is definitely going to die. But Effort goes down as well, and now casting the very large Gnar is still able to grab him with the auto. There's the hop in order to get on top of Cuz as well. And it's Teddy that comes up and grabs that kill. And actually the arrow hitting Roma may have just been the demise of KT.
I think it was big gold lead given over to Bro now. They'll be able to pick up Herald as well on the back of this. Yes, they'll lose their mid tower, but it's a cost worth paying. Casting, the one who shows up and is just so strong already. It took so much time to set up this play. The Pantheon having the ult, the Gnar being able to get there, and the fact that the lock, you have to burn so much to kill him. You know, the Encore, the Lissandra ultimate, both used, the Dragon Rage as well. That last auto killing BDD with a passive proc. And then Cuz just no way out of this situation.
Yeah, it was a nice avoidance of the Gnar with the safeguard. But Roma is like, yeah, I bought the time, boys.
That clap was so cute. Just like a little polite golf clap.
Just showing that he had use of his hands for a little while he waits for the death timer.
That's the appreciation you want.
And now the Bros are just going to try and build up that gold lead yet again. As you can see here with the gold grab, it is making its way up to that lead that they had slightly earlier on before that devastating loss in that team fight around the Dragon.
Okay, Teddy also, instead of the Ghost Blade, went Serpent's Fang, but there is a lot of shielding on the other side.
I think it's kind of a cute idea.
I can understand the technology. I think this is, you know, there's a lot, there's a Seraphine, there's a Lee Sin, there's the Ambassador, there's good value.
Artis looks for the angle towards Roma, who does have some gray health to eat. Q is going to connect, but he does eat said gray health and is going to be okay. And will they be able to take this turret? Looks like not yet. As KT will now back away. Did have that dot on it, but it is not going to quite be enough. I think it's on its last legs.
The point where you start to feel like a little rough about the fact that KT gave over that last dragon for free, because they could have been staring down Soul in 2 minutes, and instead they're in a position where if they play the fight, even if they get the dragon, if they mess up the fight and lose Baron, it could be super costly, and they don't get the reward of an Infernal Soul.
It's a big deal. Roman out, just going to catch this wave, as they did manage to deal with that outer turret. Going to really lessen this gold lead, only 1,000, and at 20 minutes, that is not going to be a big deal at all. KT's composition, as it comes further and further online, it's going to be very, very dangerous for the Bros to fight into it.
As we go into the setup for this dragon fight, what items are able to be complete? Oh no.
Oh dear. Teddy going to be dash cannoned on, and there is that Ring of Frost as well. BDD not going to go too aggressive. Doesn't throw down the Frozen Tomb, as that is cleansable.
I honestly think this showed a lot of patience from Teddy, that he had to, like, he figured he had to use his flash, but he didn't cleanse. And so at least he saves one of his summoners. I think there's a lot of players who would have just cleansed flashed immediately and then ended up with nothing for that dragon fight in a minute. It's still a big pickup from KT, don't get me wrong, to be in that flash, but he said something, oh no, perfect.
Oh dear, he face checks. There's a Hextech ultimatum as Cuz looking to try and come in and help him out, but Gideon's going to land right on top of an arrow. Public execution of the flash, gets perfect out of there, and now BDD, he has to do the same thing. The claw is denied though, and he has to self-ult to try and keep himself up. Cuz now gonna make his way in, but his mid laner is already dead. And Gio there tags Namgung with that volley, and the curtain call is going to interrupt perfect. Oh, caught window shopping there just a little bit, as he didn't quite see the curtains, but isn't going to be taken down by that first bullet as KT just lose their mid laner, and Cuz checks the Baron to see whether Bro were going to be that aggressive with their decision making.
This was a pretty nice getaway from Perfect. Obviously, he has to burn a lot to do so. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to cancel TPs for a while, and I think BDD wishes that he could have in this situation. Gets CC'd so he can't follow the course, self-ults, because what else can you do? But they're there, immediately take him out. Cuz looks like to see if he can find something, but there's just nothing really there when he's going in alone with Perfect chunked and BDD dead.
Oh,
now
no.
Bro, once again, getting control of the area first, but this time a much more confident control. Before, last dragon, they kind of snuck it. This one, they're just getting control of the area, and I'm in trouble there. Has to flash away.
Yeah, Shelly not going to find the angle, as there's the Encore just to pick up the Camille. They do manage to take her down. Namgung no longer on the rift. This might give KT the angle to get that soul point that we have been talking about. Fighting into this KT composition when they've set up the phalanx is so difficult. And so they will be able to do that and the Bros not going to take the 4v5.
Good moves from Effort there. He was the one who specifically caught out Namgoon, and Namgoon just flopped so quickly when the CC connects, even with a Celestial opposition. Not enough to keep him healthy, so nice move from KT to get control of that Dragon. We see here with the slow coming in, Namgoon went too far forward, gets caught here with the root, and then Effort says, you know what, let's just get this kill, let's guarantee it.
I like it. They get the flash out of him, and then Effort says, well, you can have mine as well, we'll kill you. Jiu is pretty close to item number 3 as well, and I kind of love this like Yuntal Runans type build when the Bros are so melee plus a Jhin.
Yeah, also these 2 items did get buffed for East.
Oh, okay, that's a jump scare on the Cuz. Let's just check. Is he okay? Has he had a heart attack? I almost did. All right, no, he is okay. Can confirm. But that once was a Lee Sin and now he's gone.
Obliterated, honestly, so quickly there. That's kind of the goal of Bros, sort of just jumping you and beating you down. Very quick kills, but not enough for them to go for the Baron here. It is, once again, the Huni Baron, so a little bit scary. Yeah, this happens so quickly. And there's just really not much you can do. This is kind of what I was talking about with the Lee Sin. Normally you have so much safety and you're able to evade all of these attempts in your life. You cannot into this composition with the Camille who can just ult you.
Yeah. And now Roma has his 2 items completed. Storm Surge and the Lich Bane have been done. And so, yeah, that burst that we were talking about, grabbing some of these Purgatory kills, will start stacking up. Teddy also gets an Infinity Edge. 3rd item, Infinity Edge, for a Jhin feels great. And we'll be able to build towards some armor pen now, I would assume.
Jiwoo picks up the LDR, so Jiwoo is kind of shredding, but I feel like the awkward thing with Ashe is you want the IE as well, but also you'd like a defensive item since you're mobile. You have some protection, a lot of CC in your team, and Effort can shield you. But it sounds crazy to say, but I think Jiwoo will start to really shred and feel comfortable on 5 items, but so late in this game.
Yeah. But these, like, with what he has now,
It still does good damage.
Yeah. And if the Bro, like, engages on someone other than the Ashe, I think they'll be surprised with the amount that Jiwoo will be able to dish out in these fights. All right, Gideon going to get tagged by a Q. Beat drop does come down here as well. Getting a bit of a taste of KT's keep away that they're able to play here with this composition. As Jiwoo standing up, I was a little bit scared of his positioning there, but he's able to just clear out the wave. Deadly Flourish is going to go slightly wide. Buzz clears out Vision himself. So KT, I think their eyes are on this Baron until this Drake is up. And then that all-important Infernal Soul and availability here to really help them with their damage problems. That's perfect. Thinking about trying to find an angle towards casting here. Gets himself a bit of a shield.
We're fighting over the Scuttle Crab because...
Oh, yes. That's what we always do. Some volleys are coming on through here as possible engage towards Roma as BDD does lead the rest of his team. There's Hextech Ultimatum into the backline. The Baron gets involved in it. Encore was fantastic with the lock. Takes down that first kill still. These Bro health bars are so low. And KT will outlast them. Casting going to get taken down. And it's a sad Dagon, but it's a happy everyone else because we are one step closer to Silver Scrapes.
They try and go for Cuz there, but he just baits them into the Baron. The Encore is beautiful, and Jiwoo flashing over the wall to finish them all off. We'll see the replay. They try and look for Cuz, but he's not isolated, he's not alone. He ward hops into the pit, and then Effort. Look at the Encore here. Doesn't actually get as much value as you'd hope, but it just does the setup for BDD to ult, and then Jiwoo steps forward and just starts absolutely shredding with the Baron at his back.
Yeah, actually, the Baron did the most damage to Jiwoo out of everyone there, and he almost died.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Huni Baron for you.
Yeah.
A lot of threat.
Huni needs to be, like, he just needs to calm down. The Baron did get taken, as we saw there. Thank you very much, Jonas Strong, for that. And BDD has himself a Zhonya's as well. Very important item for Lissandra.
The lock purgatory little thing on the ground is still there.
Oh, no. Roma didn't get to it.
He's pinged on his way. He's going for it. He's going for it. Did you get it? I think he got it.
Wait, Jonas Strong.
Yeah, he picked it up now.
Okay,
so a little bit stronger ultimate, but I think you need a lot stronger ultimate. If you look at the items, right, both 80 carries finished the 3rd item, and then Teddy picked up a crit cloak and a longsword. Jiwoo picked up a BF sword and a pickaxe at the back of that.
My goodness.
Look at that steepness on the gold graph.
It is, the Bros, they keep getting to like the 2.5k mark, and it's their demise. Now Namgung is in a lot of trouble here. Perfect gets on top of him. There is nowhere for this Camille to go. The arrow's going to connect. The kick flash onto casting is BDD. Perfect timing on the self-ult. And now Cuz looking for more of these angles. Gio just chasing after them. Wanted to get these frost shots down. There's a curtain call. And Teddy, can he get enough damage here? As Cuz has already been taken out, but they just don't care about these bullets. These minions are going to be enough for KT to be able to push through and take down this turret as now the claw comes in. One more minion going to be there. And that is going to be the inner turret falling down. Still, it does cost them the one member that didn't have Baron to begin with.
I will say though, Cuz being down, Dragon being up, this is a situation Bro could play for to set up. They actually hit Jiwoo there. TP coming in from the Gnar. This is still a precarious one for Bro, but they can get the Dragon here and deny Soul from KT. This could be a massive win.
Teleport back here from Perfect. BDD doesn't have his teleport available. He's just picking up these cinders, and it looks like KT will just give up this Dragon and allow the Bros to have it, not liking the position they were at on the map.
This ult from Perfect, interrupting the hook shot, just really shuts down Namgo. Nothing he can do in that situation. The arrow comes in. Casting still pretty tanky, so this isn't exactly easy to go for, but the self-ult from BDD was beautiful. But they just go a little bit too far in the chase here from Cuz. Gets stunned on the tower. The follow-up is there. And then a bit of an overstep considering how soon Dragon was to spawning. You could have just secured that Infernal Soul for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Now another 4.5 minutes before you even have the chance to go for it.
Well, split pushing Ashe and the split pushing Gnar. BDD is going to answer said Gnar. Somehow BDD has done the most damage in the game as well after we spent most of the game talking about how Lissandra doesn't do that much damage. He also hasn't gone for the Imperial Mandate, which I kind of find interesting.
Yeah, it was weird because Imperial Mandate came into the game, the new version, and Lissandra gained a ton of popularity. But then we got it in the LCK, and at first they weren't building it. They were just building normal Lissandra.
Yeah.
And then we saw people start to build the Imperial Mandate, but there's definitely some who still go this build now. Jiwoo's just picked up Infinity Edge. He doesn't have sums right now, so a little bit vulnerable, but doing insane damage right now. If you can get target access, you can get the flurry up and just auto-attack, he will shred. I would love to pick up a defensive on top of that, whereas Teddy, you know, he's nearly got his last Wisp of Item completed, and then he'll really have a lot of power.
Yeah, he's been deep in the bargain bin as
close.
Deadly Flourish is going to go wide. The arrow connects. There's the Encore as well. The Chain CC will put this lock under. And KT, there's not a whole lot to get off the back end of that, but they might be able to take down a turret or two.
So much setup, so much CC and pick potential, and just disrespected by Roma. Lock normally so hard to punish. They find a way to do it now. They'll have casting push here in the side lane. No TP from him. But look at this flank that's threatened by Namgoon. We've seen what the flank can do from him before. But I think the opportunity has passed. They'll give up the mid lane inhibitor while waiting for Roma to respawn.
Yeah, the top lane, the bottom lane inner turret will be the trade. KT is at least able to collect, but you were talking about that inhibitor going down. There it goes, 1.5 minutes on the next Baron.
Such an insane angle if casting had TP and could just TP over to assist, but unfortunately not able to make that play happen.
I think Namgoon has been in that brush for forever.
He's liking it there. It's a good vibe.
Yeah, decides instead to go back. There is that Imperial Mandate, so 4th item.
It's a big spike as well. You know, the Imperial Mandate's so cheap, but offers so much power for Lissandra that it kind of just lets you cheat to get a build completed early. And here, Roma ends up using the dash, but doesn't have time to flash. Once one bit of CC hits, even with Wake Treads, it doesn't matter. You are dead.
I really love the play there from KT. Not deciding to skimp out on anything, right? So that Arrow, the Encore, and the Public Execution all go down to give themselves access to that mid lane.
A Seeker's Arm Guard.
That is sick, actually.
This is such a good buy, considering the next fight likely going to be that Infernal Soul. And just that stasis, so valuable against things like a Camille, like a Pantheon, a Lock.
It reminds you of back in the day, right, with Stopwatch. The fact that that
Remember
built into GA is just so crazy to think about.
And we used to have the rune that would give you Stopwatch.
Yeah.
And everyone ran it, and you'd just have these early dives where like 8 people would Stopwatch.
The perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. That was so funny, honestly.
Oh,
not the greatest watching.
And now, like, watching AD carries build it completely off theme just to have an arm guard so that they get the Stopwatch, it just shows you how broken it was.
Yeah.
Because I think this is a great idea for Gio. I think the next fight could be the last in this game. 1 minute until that Infernal Soul is available once again for KT. But the Baron,
interesting that when
mine's first.
Defensive items are too OP, they just turn them into mage items. Like, remember when Banshee used to be the tank item and both teams would buy it? like, you know what? Just give it to the mages.
Yep. Hey, at least the AD champions got GA. You know, they got that one.
That's true. That's fair.
Remember, that used to just be a defensive item as well. It's all right. KT back in this mid lane. They've got super minions. Arrow is going to get the flash out of Roma. He doesn't want to risk it this time. But now Perfect, public execution, picks up the Camille, and she gets pulled back. The Hextech ultimatum is one that KT are very happy to go with. Another flash forward from Jiu, and that may just spell the end of the Bros here in this game. The Frozen Tomb is so well named, as the Bros are all going to be put on ice. And they're going to have to be woken up again for a game number 5. KT Rolster will roll down the mid lane and send us there.
We always knew it was going to 5 games. You may not have believed us, but we told you that at the start of the day.
We did. This was written.
It's gone the distance. KT, they knew what the company needed to do. They see a target, they see a target, they kill a target.
This was a beautiful drop from KT.
It could be the Nasus angle. We'll see.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, this composition, you have the setup for the Lee Sin, for the Ambassador, you have the CC, you see target, kill target. And these later fights, especially when they fell behind.
나 해볼게. 이거 카밀 갈게. 카밀 간대. 노플.
호대
노플.
야
로켓.
오케이 자 카밀 붙어 호대 앞라인 한대 빨리지 마 일단
나 가야 돼. 이거 와봐.
오케이
잠깐만. 천천히 볼게.
야 이거 한대부터 한대 뒤에 줘
가자.
미드 가자
나이스.
나이스.
잘 건드렸네.